Hey guys, KiWi here. Welcome back to the channel. I recently posted a poll asking what video you guys want to see next, and it was pretty split down the middle. So don't worry, I'll probably do the Defense Matrix video next week, but this video is going to be talking about D.Va's Self-Destruct, and I have done a guide like this in the past, but I wanted to update it to help you guys get the most value out of the ultimate in Overwatch 2. Before this video starts, I just wanted to let you guys know that I stream most nights on Twitch, so come stop by if you have the chance, and without further ado, let's get right into the video, guys. So, D.Va's ultimate, Self-Destruct, is arguably the easiest and most OP ult in the game. If you're new to Overwatch, you can look at the ult and believe these things because of its potential, but I'm here to be the bearer of bad news. It's not as OP as people say it is. Especially with KiWi going competitive now, and in the game in general, there are so many ways to counter a D.Va bomb. Whether that would be from hiding it, sitting in a Baptiste immortality field, getting KiWi cleanse, which also makes you invulnerable if the KiWi times it correctly, and simply just running away and hiding. There's a difference between a lucky 4K that even you yourself are surprised about, and a well-calculated, consistent 2K that focuses on certain enemies that can really turn an entire team fight. There are a lot of things to take into consideration when you're about to use your ult, and I'll get into that shortly, but first I wanted to explain the ult to some of the new players, so if you already know how it works, feel free to use the timestamps to skip to a different part of the video. One of D.Va's ultimate abilities is Self-Destruct. When activated, it is charged up for 3 seconds, and finally it explodes, dealing 100 to 1000 damage in an area. This will kill pretty much anyone close enough to it. There are 3 times you can use your ultimate. One way to use Self-Destruct is when your mech has been destroyed. During the animation of it being destroyed, you can press the ultimate button and the Self-Destruct will start to charge up in the spot that your mech was destroyed at. The second way would be to press the ult button when you're still in mech, and you will eject from the mech and start the charge up on the Self-Destruct in the position you used it at. The final and most advanced method that I find most new players don't really know about is using your boosters and your Self-Destruct at the same time. The mech carries the trajectory of the boosters while charging up the Self-Destruct, and it explodes after the 3-second timer, like activating it at any other point, even if it's still in the air. You will always get your mech back after using Self-Destruct, and after it explodes, your call mech ultimate will be fully restored and you can call in another full health mech. There are different times to use specific methods, and I've got you guys covered. In Overwatch 2, if you have Self-Destruct and your mech gets destroyed, you have to be aware of a few things. How many of your teammates are still alive, how many of the enemies are still alive, and where you are. If you have a numbers advantage, it may be beneficial to just use Self-Destruct when you get out of your mech to guarantee getting it back in 3 seconds after it explodes. It can also clear the area, but when using it to guarantee another full health mech, you shouldn't expect many kills. Expect it to zone the enemies away from where you died at, and for it to give you the opportunity to get back into your mech and continue to help your team as a tank. Since Overwatch 2 only has one tank now, not having your mech is making you a liability to your team pretty much. And if you're down players, or if you notice the team fight is going pretty badly, it's best to just hold on to it and use another method I'll mention in a bit. Don't be afraid to just press the ult button once your mech is destroyed if you think it will benefit the team fight. So this is probably the one option that hasn't changed much from Overwatch 1. Using Self-Destruct in a place can be very good at clearing certain areas. Like if you notice that your game is ticking down from 10 seconds, stand on top of the payload and press your ult button. This will either make the enemies too scared to peek around the choke, stalling them, or making them have to face tank the bomb, probably killing them in the process. Using this method is also really good on control points as well. Like leaving it on a control point when you're at 95% and the enemies are making one final push is really good because it does the same thing I just mentioned in the payload example. It zones and or kills the people trying to enter the site. Zoning with D.Va is super important, and it can be super beneficial to understand that sometimes getting the most kills with a bomb won't lead your team to victory. New Overwatch players obviously don't know everything about the game yet, so I'm here to educate you guys. If you use your boosters and then press your ultimate button, it creates a moving bomb. This can be really good for engaging a fight or zoning out an area that you aren't in right now. This is usually the most flashy way people will show off their huge D.Va bombs. There can also be a huge surprise factor in this method, as well as like advanced positioning and targeting that I'll get into in a second. Since this method is the most advanced method, this portion of the video will have a few subcategories, so bear with me for a second. So when you're looking to throw your bomb, there are some questions that you want to internalize and ask yourself. The first question you want to ask yourself is, do they have any shields, bubbles, defensive ults, or immortality abilities? Keep your eye on what abilities the enemies just used. Like if Zarya uses her 2 bubbles, she has no more for a few seconds. If Baptiste just uses Immortality Field, it's on a cooldown, and you can abuse this knowledge to understand that it's an okay time to throw your bomb, as they won't have the ability to protect them. You can also use your ultimate to bait out these things if you trust your DPS has an ultimate, such as a Reaper Death Blossom. You can, for example, launch your ult at a Zenyatta in the backlines, and since he has no movement ability, he will either die or be forced to use Trans, his ultimate, or even bait out another teammate's ability like a Baptiste Immortality Field, leaving your Reaper free reign to just go in there and get a big ult. Are you in a good position? Making sure you're about to throw your bomb in a spot with a lot of open areas with little escape is very important. Launching it in a spot with a lot of rooms, walls, and cover will lead to no one being killed. I would recommend making notes of spots on each map that have a lot of open space. Like just go into a custom game and just look around and kind of make a note of what spots would be good for a D.Va bomb. If a lot of enemies are lingering around that area in your games, you can feel confident that you at least get 1 or 2 of them with your ultimate. Who needs to die? You should be... Yo, what? That was so dark. My bad. That just sounded so dark. Anyways, you should be asking yourself who is being the most annoying right now. Like, who is providing their team the most value? Who has an ultimate that could potentially lose your team the round and even the game? Here's an example. So if an enemy Ana is positioning like alone in the back, keeping their tank up to the point where you physically can't kill them, it would be very beneficial to throw your ult towards the Ana in the back lines, either making her have to reposition, which would stop her healing, or she would just die to the bomb. Keep an eye out for who needs to die, who is causing you the most trouble. Keep an eye out for who needs to die. I can't get over how dark that sounds. Anyways, be wary of who is causing you guys the most trouble and use the trajectory of the ultimate to throw it towards the enemy you want repositioned or dead. Where would enemies reposition to get away from the bomb? If you place the bomb in the enemy backlines, chances are they're all gonna run into your team and aggress so they don't get killed, causing a team fight. If you want to cause a team fight, do this. Make sure your team knows and just get ready to fight. If you throw it into a tight space with a lot of enemies, they're gonna have to leave this space or they'll die. So something you could do is make sure your team knows that you're throwing your bomb and tell them to help you watch the exits of this area to ensure that the enemies leaving will be met with a lot of damage spam when frantically trying to leave the room, trying to avoid the bomb. I see a lot of people that say that D.Va bomb is brain dead, D.Va bomb is OP, D.Va bomb should be removed, but I think those are the same people that throw their ult in with no knowledge or expectations and get confused when they happen to get 4 kills. They don't know how to repeat that next time because they didn't ask any of the questions I mentioned in this video before throwing the bomb. They didn't think about anything. Those are the types of people that don't understand just how much goes into this ultimate, how much of a game changer it is. I think that about wraps up the video. I hope this helped in some way. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask in the comments or join my Discord server or even ask in my Twitch chat most nights when I stream. The link for that is in the description as well. If you liked the video, obviously, I would really appreciate a like and possibly even a sub. It's been KiWi, guys. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Oh, Billy, I got this new tech. You should put this in the video. Here, look. Right here. Yep.
Low key, I'll put it in.
What does it even look like?
Oh.